Hi, guys. How are you today? Time to talk about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I mean, this next article is just what my grandma would call tomfoolery. This is a bunch of tomfoolery, but we'll get to that in a minute. So today, the National Enquirer is reporting that Denise Richards is on the chopping block, that she's in grave danger of losing her job. And then they list the reasons why she's on the chopping block. They said because she's a diva. Not only is she's a diva, she's the worst housewife they've ever had. As if, the name Lisa Rinna does not exist. They're saying she's the worst housewife ever. She has too many demands and she just acts like a big diva and she wants all of her demands met. Okay. They go on. Another reason that her job is on the chopping block is because she refused to film. Now, I think tonight will be the last episode that we see Denise for a couple more episodes. I think it like 2 or 3. This is true. She did refuse to film, especially when everyone was really getting on her about the Brandy affair. She refused to film. Bravo had to talk her back into filming because not only did she refuse to film, she was getting ready to quit. They had to say, stay, tell your storyline. Don't let other people tell your story for you. All of that nonsense. And another reason they're saying that her job is on the chopping block because of the threats of a lawsuit. We all know that she served the cast and Bravo and probably maintenance, anyone else involved. She served them all with cease and desist letters. She didn't want anyone else talking about the Brandy affair. She had said what she had to say and she felt that it was enough. Plus, she didn't want them to pull the 5-on-1 trick that they do every season where everyone gangs up on one person because most likely the one person would be her. Okay, so this is why they are, according to the National Enquirer, why her job is on the chopping block. According to them, also, the cast members feel that they were very upset that she did not film. And they're going around saying things like, why does she get to not film and we have to show up? Well, not them, mostly Lisa Rinna, okay, and Erica Girardi. Everyone else was just, in the room complaining because why do we have to film? Denise is not here. She's getting special treatment. Okay, so fine. According to the National Enquirer, these are the reasons that they want her fired. Well, I'm just going to straight out say, I'm calling BS on this one, people. BS. Okay. This is so not true, in my opinion. And I'll list my reasons. Let's start with number 1. They can't have housewives refusing to film. That's like a no, right? Like, no. You don't do that. They can't have housewives threatening lawsuits. The minute you say law, you don't even have to get the suit out first. Suit out next. You just say law, they shut you down. They can't have it. But they have to give an exception to Denise Richards. Okay, they just have to do it for a couple reasons. Number 1, her storyline was the only storyline on the show. Everyone else hid behind her storyline. We would be sleeping, okay, if it wasn't for the Denise Brandy affair. Okay, whether you believe it or don't believe it, this was the only storyline that caught our attention, especially after they just got rid of LVP. We were like, we're not watching that show. We are done. The rest of those hooligans, who wants to watch them? No, they had to have Denise, who already has a name for herself. She's tied to Charlie Sheen. She has a respectable resume on her own. Okay, so right there, she does not need the show. They want her to be on the show, okay? Because she has a name for herself. Another reason I'm calling BS on this article is they just paid her $4 million, making her the highest paid housewife. Do you think they're going to lose all of their money? It would be much cheaper to get rid of Brandy than it would be Denise Richards. I'm calling BS. I almost said it, guys. I'm calling BS on this article. Not only am I calling BS, I'm going to go a step further. You're saying a step further, Sharrell? A step further. I think this was a plant. Not only do I think it was a plant, this was a plant by the networks. How do you know, Sharrell? You may ask. I'm glad you asked this. I'm ready to talk about it. Because of who the source was given to, the National Enquirer. Now listen, anybody knows these days social media is so popular. the first place we go to for our gossip is the blogs. No one goes to the National Enquirer anymore. Old school. That's like a network decision. Let me feed this to the networks, because remember, they think they're above the blogs, which they are not. If this was another housewife planning this story, I would have a different video. I would be like, guess what, guys? The rumor is Denise Richards is fired today. No one goes to the National Enquirer anymore. No one goes to the tabloids. This has to be a network plan. Okay. And they had to do it for several reasons. Like I said, we can't have anyone else talking lawsuits. I mean, we already got that Nene Leakes trying to whisper lawsuits. We have to shut that down. They don't need everyone getting away with what Denise Richards has gotten away with. So let me go ahead and plant the story. So this will ease the other housewives that are complaining behind her back, like Kyle, Teddy, and Lisa Rinna. They were throwing a fit. Erica Girardi too, all of them were throwing a fit. How come she gets special treatment? Okay, we're just going to say that her job is on the line. This might shut them up. Another reason why they planted the story, it could be this. What if the public's okay with Denise being gone? We have to put this out there as a tester. If people are outraged and they're like, we're not going to watch anymore. We want Denise back on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They're not going to do it. But if no one says anything, they're like, we'll go ahead and, this is not going to be an uproar. We'll go ahead and take the loss. This is a network plan. Okay, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not falling for this, people. No, I'm trying to tell you, this is a network plant, and they had to do it for several reasons. They want to see the public's reaction, and they want to quiet those other yapping housewives, mostly Lisa Rinna. Remember, she was posting all about it. She should be allowed to tell her story. I'm so upset. How come, we don't get to talk about it in the reunion? Remember, I gave you the previous 4 videos of her complaining about everyone not being allowed to talk about her storyline, which is Denise's storyline, the Denise and Brandy affair. This is a plant by the networks. I mean, you guys are showing special treatment. It is what it is. I mean, you have a lot of reasons to show special treatment. You won't have any ratings if Denise leaves that show. Remember, I called it a couple videos ago. I said, this is Denise's show. It's no longer Kyle's show. It's not the hopeful Lisa Rinna show, because remember, she wanted to be in charge. This is Denise Richards' show now. As a matter of fact, I've resorted to calling her Queen Richards. I like that, don't you? Queen Richards has stolen the show from that nut job. I mean it in a nice way. Lisa Rinna, I don't really mean you're a nut job. I just mean that, you might be a nut. She's stolen the show from Lisa Rinna. This is her show. And the other housewives, they can't take it. They are complaining about behind the scenes. Oh my gosh. Every day when you wake up, Lisa Rinna is tweeting about not liking Denise, tweeting about how things aren't fair. She gets to do this and that. And then tweeting about how the reunion was so unfair. So much so that I think Andy Cohen had to pull her back. Remember when she was saying, this is the worst reunion ever. It's a sham. It's a scam. We weren't allowed to speak. We were, what do you call that? Muted. We weren't allowed to say what we really wanted to say. Then maybe like a week or two after that, then Andy Cohen came out next and he was like, no, the reunion's very good, because he has to promote his show. And then a couple of days later, here comes Lisa Rinna. I mean, we left everything on the floor. It's not as bad as I said at first. She got a scolding, people. She got a scolding. And this is a way to quiet them down. We might fire Denise. So that goes all the way until the season actually begins, before the cast realize they didn't really fire her. They were just trying to shut us up. As a matter of fact, she started filming right a day before we did. This buys them time. It really is a setup. You would think, who will go out of their way to plan a story like this just to shut the other housewives up? This seems a lot, Sharrell. It's a lot. These are the things that they do. I'm trying to tell you. No one believes me. I'm tired of people not believing me. Listen, they had to shut up the rest of the cast. they had to figure out what will really happen if we fire Denise. Will the people protest? And most definitely, I'm telling you right now, I will definitely protest if Queen Richards, that's what it was. Queen Richards is not back on my screen next season. I will protest. We all will. No one wants to see Kyle and Rinna and Teddy and whoever else they have. No one cares. Listen, you guys got to stick with your original plan and go with the original rumor, which is Kyle's job is on the line because she's the highest paid until Denise was, but the second highest paid, and then getting rid of Teddy because she has a boring storyline. Those were the rumors. They need to stick to that. All of this new stuff about should we fire Denise, plain and simple, no. That's only my opinion. As I say in every video, we all have our different opinions, and that just happens to be mine. So I want to know, what do you guys think of my theory in the comments section? Do you guys think that this is a network plant and they're not planning on firing Denise whatsoever, and they had to plan it for the reasons I stated? Or do you think Denise is on the chopping block? Whatever the case, let's talk about it like adults in the comments section. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to click that like button. It does wonders for my video. If you haven't already subscribed and hit the notification bell, go ahead and do that. I'll see you guys in the comments section. Until next time, talk to you then. Bye-bye.